Hey guys, how's it going? BrotherArcanine here. Today I'm just going to go over my team and the three battles that we had for the Psychic Monotype little kind of mini tournament held between myself, a friend of mine named Jeffrey, my brother, aka Dankish Memes on the YouTubes, and then also Abracadabra Alakazam, who we all know from Silver videos and other videos that we do together. So the four of us just played under the Monotype tier rules, and we all only used Psychic type Pokemon. So you were allowed to change up your teams between battles if you felt like it. Some guys swapped out a Pokemon or two. I didn't swap out any Pokemon just because I really liked my team the way it was, but I switched EVs around and items. So this team's marked right now as don't use because it was the original-ish sets that I had for my battles. I changed up some stuff, so I'll do that as I speak about the finals battles, but that won't be until the next video. So first up, we have Sista Fista, the Hoopa Unbound. Choice Scarf, of course. And Facade, just in case we got burned. Drain Punch, in case, we live in, because we're trying to live out here. I got 132 HP, it's Bedef. Like, honestly, we're pretty good on the special side. Like, we're not going to die in one hit. To most things, anyway. On the special side. So then, of course, Hyperspace Fury and Knockoff, because, best thing ever. So, base 160 attack, so I felt like it didn't really need any more investment than this. I ran some calcs, and the things that it was one-hit KOing, it did it just fine here. And the things that it wasn't one-hit KOing, it was two-hit KOing here, so I just felt that was fine there. This is, I believe, 2-hit speed. Alakazam, no matter what set it's running with the Choice Scarf, I believe. And so that's probably all there is to say about Sister Fister, really. And just outspeeds everything, and it's so damn strong. It's impossible to switch into. You basically just choose your fodder when it comes out. So, leading off with, moving on to our next Pokemon, Deoxys Defense, aka No Neck. So, yeah, pretty much just what you expect from a Deoxys Defense. I got my Spikes, my Stealth Rocks, got Recover, and of course Toxic, which was up there first, but mentioned last. Just mixed defensive. This was just enough defense to live guaranteed 2 hyperspace holes from, guaranteed to live 1, and then die on the second one. Hyperspace Fury from the Hoopa, and there wasn't any point in making it bold and max defense, because there was no way it was going to live 2 ever, so let's just make sure we could live 1. And then the rest was put into special defense, because I figured most psychic types are especially defensive threats. 2 of the exceptions are on my team, Sister Fister and Bluemaker Jones. My favorite, and we're going to just get right into this Pokemon, because we already know everything about Deoxys Defense just from those 4 moves. So, yeah. Bluemaker Jones, my favorite nickname for anyone on this team currently, even better than No Neck or Sister Fister. Assault Vest, this is just enough speed. I guess I was planning on making a Choice Scarf at some point. I don't really 100% know why I ran that speed on this thing. I think I had decided on these 3, the attack, HP, and the special defense spread, and then I just threw the rest into speed, because that's what I felt like doing. Not 100% sure why that speed. I'm sure it's important, but I didn't know why that speed, because he's kind of in an awkward place. He's speed timing with this, but it's going to be a Choice Scarf anyway. These things aren't going to run speed, like these defensive mons. So there really wasn't a lot of point in running speed on him, but I did this some time ago, so perhaps I had a very good reason for doing it and just forget. But yeah, Bluemaker Jones, definitely an MVP, one of my favorite Pokemon, and put in so much work in these battles. So despite being an RU Pokemon, it was pretty impressive. So moving along to Cresselia now. That shiny, though. Love that shiny, obviously. Just bold, because we have Calm Minds, so... And also, it's base special defense, and with its HP at max. It's taken pretty much everything. Mega Alakazam or, like, boosted special mons are the only things that can actually give problems to this thing. And when you start boosting on the special side, nothing gives you a problem, except for, like, Hoopa, Unbound. Because it's just like S ranked, I swear. In this style where we're only playing with Psychics against Psychics, Hoop Unbound is incredibly broken. I don't know why Monotype allowed it, because it's Ubers and doesn't allow any other Ubers really. So some of us thought we should have banned it, but that was after we'd had some battles and things of that nature. So it was like, okay, if we ban it, then we're gonna have to rebattle everyone. We're all pretty bad at staying on top of things, so schedule-y wise. So just decided to keep it. And yeah, so now we have our Mega Alakazam. This much speed, because believe it or not, the next fastest thing is well, not the next fastest thing, but the next fastest thing, like Pokemon, is regular form Alakazam that, like, speed-wise was allowed. Am I making sense? I know I'm not. Let's try this again. Of the Psychic types that are allowed to be used in the Monotype Psychic Tournament, we have Mega Alakazam, fastest one, okay? Deoxys Speed, Attack, and Deoxys Regular, as well as all of the Mewtwo's. They're not allowed in there, but Alakazam is, so base 120 speed, if that's all, you know, maxed out and jolly. 372, so just enough speed to outspeed that. I know there's, like, Choice Scarfers and stuff that would obviously be pretty good. Like, even this, you know, this was my other train of thought. Yeah, so if you Choice Scarf this thing, it's running, like, 558 speed on a Choice Scarf Jolly, or sorry, yeah, you'd be Jolly, wouldn't you? Timid. On a timid Choice Scarf Alakazam. So, you know, there's no way you're going to outspeed that. So I just made it outspeed the fastest base stat Pokemon at max speed. And I felt like that was enough speed. And then, yeah, I ran some other calcs, figured out, like I did with Sister Fister's attack, figured out where we were killing things, and then what was just getting to a KO no matter what we did, and then that gave us lots and lots of special defense. So Mega Alakazam actually ends up losing an attack or two, surprisingly. You wouldn't really, you'd be like, okay, base 55 HP, you're going down, plus you're an Alakazam, so you're going down. But it actually did not go down, so that was absolutely awesome. So final Pokemon, Butt Plug. Awesome Pokemon, Violite. I mixed around these defenses, but you know, it was never going to live anything from the only physical threat that I was worried about. So this is, like, enough just for living like a knockoff, but not to live like a Hyperspace Fury. So just enough for that. Maybe get off a Scald and, you know, burn the thing. Most of my plans are ways to beat Hoop Unbound, and then everyone else just, you know, I'll figure it out when I get there. But yeah, really cool Pokemon. I wanted to run a different set, just like Toxic Whirlpool, Protect, Slack Off, with basically this spread as well, and then Regenerator in case, you know, it doesn't work, or you take a little bit more damage than you want, and you need to switch out after you land Toxic or whatever. But for some reason it was banned while I had Regenerator, and I didn't want to use the other abilities, so I just decided to use this. And things work out pretty okay with this team, you'll see right now. So let's get right into it with our first match.
We have our battle against Ty, and he leads off with Hoopa. Obviously, I lead off with Doc's defense. He's going to go ahead and use Hyperspace Fury, which can only be used by Hoopa Unbound, so unfortunately I get my Stealth Rocks up for free. I didn't think this Latias would have Defog, so I decided to keep setting up my hazards. At this point, it seems like I'm right. I get up Toxic because I think I can beat Latias 1v1, and unless it's a mixed Latias, he really doesn't have anything to touch me with now that he's at -2 special attack. Obviously, lets off the defog there, but again, I'm beating him 1v1, so I'm just going to keep setting up my hazards until he leaves, and I'll always have some kind of hazard up that he'll have to come back in on, which is why I believe here to set up the Stealth Rocks. Let's see here, yeah, so that when Latias comes back in, it'll have to be hit by Stealth Rocks, so he's going to keep on defogging. I'm going to keep on getting up my Stealth Rocks there. I predicted his defog, and like I said, I want those Stealth Rocks up for when Latias comes back in. So now he brings in the Hoopa as I continue to set up hazards. So I'm going to go ahead and Toxic here because it looks like the best he can do is Fire Punch me. Maybe get a burn. I'm pretty sure that's what he's fishing for, is to get a burn. But I don't really care about the burn. In fact, I'd prefer the burn, because if I get Toxic, then I have to switch out Deoxys at some point. But it seems like at this point, Deoxys kind of beats his entire team. So finally he gets the burn, but I have Recover, of course, so I'm not worried about that 12% because he's not doing anywhere near enough for me to worry about that burn damage. So I just keep recovering off because I have all my hazards. Hoopa goes down, and basically I just get a burn and lost 12%, and I've pretty much taken care of 2 of his Pokemon, so he defogs, I get my Stealth Rocks back up for when he switches, and I don't know his last move at this point, but I'm figuring it's Roost because it looks like a defensive Latias set. Here he Roosts, and what I would do if I was him here is switch out into something that can take on Deoxys defense. I don't know if he has anything really that can take me on, but at this point he's just kind of dying, which is why I decided to switch into Cresselia here, because I think he's going to switch, and I was just kind of tired. It was 17 turns, and I hadn't switched out Deoxys defense, so I was kind of tired of having it in there. Just going to start setting up Calm Minds so his Draco dropping doesn't drop me, and with the Moonblast there, he's obviously in a really bad spot, as Toxic, I believe, takes him out this turn, as it does. So now we're +1 in Spadef. Funny thing happens here. He goes for T-Bolt. I would have gone for a Moonblast. I don't know if he was carrying it or not. But here, he gets the special defense drop. Now, or I get the special defense drop on him. Now, this, honestly, is the thing that allowed him to take out my Crest, because he goes for Destiny Bond, and I go for Shadow Ball again. Now, if he had have not, or rather, if I hadn't have gotten the special defense drop, then I would have left him set up another Calm Mind, rather, because I wanted to take him out and be able to take hits and just keep setting up on this thing. But because he got that special defense drop, I decided to go for Shadow Ball, and his Destiny Bond worked out there. So he's able to actually take out one of my Pokemon. So there goes my 6-0. But now he brings in Slowbro. I'm going to start setting up my hazards because he has no way of getting rid of them now, so as soon as I get them up, they'll be here to stay. His V-Create, very scary move, and I'm able to get off the Toxic on his thing, thinking I can 1v1 his entire team, but it looks like his V-Create's actually going to give me trouble. So I go into the old butt plug. For some reason he goes for Brick Break, I guess because I was on low HP and he didn't want to waste his PP, but turns out to obviously not be good, because Fusion Bolt could have 2-hit KO'd me, and he would have been able to keep his Victini alive. But unfortunately, a combination of Skulls and Toxics brings that monster down. So now he brings in Slowbro, and I just go for Recover, hoping to outspeed as I do, and he has nothing to touch me with now, so I can just continually Recover, Toxic, and throw out my hazards. And I'm even not worried about Mew coming in on the Toxic, because obviously the Synchronized ability won't affect me because I'm burned. Now here he makes a bit of a misplay. I guess he didn't understand that you can't double status me. Maybe he thought Yawn was like a special way around that, but of course it is not, so he ends up in a bad spot here on that account, when he should have just been doing what he ended up doing and going for Scald crits, but at this point he has nothing that can beat me. So I have all my hazards up, and if he switches out his Slowbro, It's going to be taking like 32%ish, I believe, maybe just a flat 30%. So he really can't bring it in or switch it out rather, unless he's going to use it as a Death Father and he has like something set up on his Mew. But as you will see here, it is actually a well, I don't want to give it away. As you'll see right, almost there. Right now, it is a defensive Mew set having the Roost. I thought I could just end it all with knockoff, which is why I switched out, because I obviously could have won with the Deoxys defense, but I didn't really feel like staying in. I thought Shadow Sneak would take it out, but unfortunately he's able to roost off the damage, and I obviously can't beat this thing 1v1. I go for Night Slash to see what it'll do, but even a crit, I'd need 2 crits at least, and he'd have to not roost for me to take him out, so instead I decided to just bring in Sister Fister on the roost and Hyperspace Fury to end it all, because just so much attack power. So that's the end of that first battle there. Nice 4-0 in my favor. Next we'll get on to Luke's battle. So this is our battle against Lucas. I lead off with my Hazard Setter, good old Deoxys defense, as he leads off of his Hazard Setter, Cheech and Zong, the Bronzong. So here I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think Cheech and Zong can really do too much to me, so I'm just going to stay in here, get up all my hazards. At this point, I can't touch his 2 Steel types, so I decided to just get up my last layer, and I'm going to switch out. But seeing this Pursuit damage, I'm obviously going to recover here. So I realize now that I can Life Orb stall him to death. So I was thinking about staying in, but then decided just to go into Buttplug, who resists his Steel type stab. Hoping no attack raises, and going to go for Scalds, fishing for burns, and of course it's going to KO him, so I decided to just obviously go for Scald again. I decided to go for Slack Off, because I can Life Orb stall him. So he does Rapid Spin, which kind of sucks for me, but what doesn't suck for me is I'm at +1 special attack, so when I fire off this Scald next, it's going to be doing some serious damage. So I Toxic the Hoopla, and I decided just to sack my Buttplug because nothing wants to take the damage from the Hyperspace Fury. So luckily, jeez, I'm a little behind here. So yeah, he turns out to be a special Hoopla, so I'm actually able to live that. If he was physical Hoopa Unbound, then I would not have lived that at all. But luckily I was able to, so I'm just going to stay in, slack off, and just click Scald and win is the plan right now. His Mega Gardevoir is obviously really strong, so I decided to start Calm Mining up, but he is the Calm Mine set himself, so my best plan is to just start firing off Toxics, slowly wearing him down so he can't stay in, and then Scald over and over again. Also Calm Mining up, because I need to keep up with him, because obviously there when I'm neutral, I'm not living his attacks. So he goes for Draining Kiss. I think I would have gone for Energy Ball there, but teach their own. It didn't exactly work out for him because of all my Spadef. So staying in, slacking off, letting that Toxic damage rack up, but he does decide to go into his own Deoxys defense. Fires off a Toxic on me. I kind of saw that coming, which is why I decided to switch out, because Slowbro becomes pretty useless after it gets Toxic. So I go into Bluemaker Jones here, and we're going to start firing off knockoffs, because it having leftovers is really annoying, makes things very difficult. I break its sub, he's able to recover off all his damage, so at this point my best play probably would have been switching into Hoopa there, but I decided to just keep going for Night Slashes to break subs. And here he makes an unfortunate mistake in going into his own Hoopa, because now I can just Shadow Sneak, and either way, if he stayed in, he would have went down to the Toxic damage. So now it's my defensive wall against his offensive tank. Tank? I guess so, because it has those special defense raises. But here I'm thinking he's going to need quite a bit to really beat me. So I just start setting up my hazards, but it looks like he can actually beat me 1v1. So I decided to just stay in here, recover off, try and stall him out a little bit, get that Toxic damage up. And there goes my Deoxys defense, but he's all the way down there at 24% health. So for some reason I decided to go into Buttplug, and he's going to be able to Draining Kiss, get a lot of his health back. I definitely misplayed around this thing quite a bit, but after that Destiny Bond thing, I was a little bit worried about sending in any of my hyper-offensive threats. So he's going to go ahead and Rapid Spin again as I fire off the Calm Mind, start setting up, because this is the time to set up. His physical attackers are all gone, except for this thing, which I resisted Stab, so I'm not really worried about it. Even if he gets an attack raise, he goes down to 2 more Life Orbs. So I finished it off with Scald there. And Sinjik comes in, Draining Kiss, gets a lot of HP back. I'm just going to slack off, because I was kind of predicting the Calm Mind. But obviously that doesn't happen, so I'm just going to Calm Mind up again. I'm thinking I'm going to Calm Mind up alongside him. Unfortunately there I missed the Toxic. This is going to be a pretty common theme. So I go for Scald here, predicting the sub. Luckily I predict that. Go for another Scald. We're just fishing for burns at this point and making sure you can't set up a sub. I forgot about Protect, otherwise it probably would have switched out into my Hoopa there. So he recovers up all the way to full. I'm still fishing for these Scald burns. Still don't get it. Very unfortunate. And now we are going into Sister Fister, hopefully to end this whole thing. I'm going to Hyper or Knockoff, just my best play. If he switched out into anything, it went down. I'm going to go into another Knockoff, and I'm pretty sure from here on out he doesn't have anything for this wonderful Pokemon. Just in case it lived the knockoff, I decided to go into my Slowbro to sack it here and get some toxic turns racking up. Obviously, he heals more than the toxic, so I definitely misplayed around this Mega Gardevoir quite a bit in hindsight. But now I've got Hyperspace Fury locked in. I outspeed everything 100%. Because this is leftovers, not like some random Scarf Starmie. And that's a nice 3-0 in my favor. So that was my battle against my bro Lucas, Dankish Memes, and next we will battle against Jeffery. So let's get into that.
Okay, so for the last one, we have our battle against Jeffery. So to start things off, I'm leading with Hoopa, because I'm just like, you know what, we're going to get kills. And we do. Knock off, Jirachi, gone. I gotta tell you, start of this battle, doing great. I'm like, okay, this thing, I can live. I got special defensive investment. You ain't living. This is Hoopa. And you know what? I'm just feeling a little confident. So I'm like, risk the speed tie. Let's go. And of course, his Hoopa wins there. So I guess he was worried about my Scarf. So I just went for the X-Scissor. I'm not actually a Scarf. I'm a Salt Vest. So I'm pretty sure that Hoopa would have taken me out there. But luckily we were able to get some damage off on Slowbro. We're not taking any damage, or rather getting any burns from Scald. Now here, this is where things start going a little haywire, okay? Things start going a little bad right here. I go for Toxic. I miss. Crap. But whatever. Gonna get this Toxic off. I know I can live one. So, going for another Toxic. Miss again. Let's count these Toxics here. 2 missed Toxics, which really hurts me, because had I gotten that turn of Toxic damage, had I gotten it on the switch, okay, I could have gotten another, or 1 spike up, which would have helped immensely against his team, because as you can see, the rest of them a little bulky, and yeah, as you can see from my team, no real answers to Hoopa unless he switches in and I hit him. So I really need a Toxic on Hoopa and a spike in order to kind of solidify my victory here. If I had gotten 1 spike up and that Toxic off, I was laughing. Unfortunately, no laughs to be had here. So I go in. He should have known there that I wasn't scarfed, but all the same, I guess he didn't want to risk taking any damage from maybe Shadow Sneak or anything, any tricky plays, so he just switches out into Slowbro, tanks these hits really all too well. I'm going for crits here, as he's going to go for Scald Burns. Luckily for me, no Scald Burns. Luckily for him, no crits. And now we just got both of our Slowbros in at max health. Check this. 3 Toxics. This is supposed to be a 90% accurate move, and I miss 3 times, and then Bronzong immune, but still. I'm like, okay, at least I'm going to get some Scald Burns here. That's 2 Scalds, no burns. 3 Scalds, finally I get the burn. So at least there's finally some luck coming out my way, but now it's not looking good. It's got screens up. I need to kind of stall this guy out a bit, so I'm going to start just setting up with the old butt plug here. Finally, we land a Toxic. What's that? That's like a 25% accurate move that I'm using right now. This damn Toxic. So
obviously really screwed me, but now we're finally getting that momentum going, wearing down the Slowbro. It's on a timer, and at this point, I can't really risk his Hoopa coming in on a Calm Mind or a Slack Off, so I just need to keep going with these Scalds. Luckily, I don't get burnt. I don't know if I won every single speed tie or what was happening there, but I did really good against that Slowbro. So I thought we could live one. I underestimate Hoopa Unbound far too much. Now we're sending in Gallade, going for that X-Scissor again, doing no damage yet again, but we are going to be able to finish off this Bronzong here, going for that nice knockoff. Peace out, Light Clay, no more screens for you. He's bringing in the Crest, going to go for that knockoff again, just get rid of lefties. I know this thing's way too bulky, so unfortunately I'm getting paralyzed here. And he's going to start setting up as I'm going for crits, hoping that maybe we'll do a little bit of damage that I need, but unfortunately I know he's got the Moonlight, and I was hoping for a crit there, and then crit the Shadow Sneak would have been able to take him out, but as we can see, he's just able to Moonlight out, and I have to switch out there. So I was hoping to Moonlight again, but luckily we have a special defensive investment on the Alakazam anyway, so we're able to live that, and Magic Guard, no rocks damage. Here we're just going to go fire off those Shadow Balls. With the Spadef drop, we're looking like a 2-hit KO, but of course, guess what? He gets a special attack drop. But I do get some luck here. Finally, I get a crit. Crest is down, so I didn't have to Shadow Sneak with the Gallade. And now, this is looking pretty bad, because I know I can live one Hyperspace Fury with my Cresselia, but I'm not going to be able to take it out with a Moonblast. So what I basically have to do here is just go for crits. I live the one. His defense is going nice and low, which I like to see, which I need, because my plan is basically get him low, get those defense drops, and then we're going to go in here to Bluemaker Jones. But because we didn't get those spike damages, let's see here.
20 minutes later.
Dead. I should have taken him out, and it should have been a 2-0 in my favor. But instead, now, even though he's like at 0.4 of his defense, my Shadow Sneak can't take him out without a crit, and that's awful. And also, I have to go for Shadow Sneak. We're always slower, and without yeah, so we're always slower. We have to go for Shadow Sneak, and we can't live a hit from him. So basically, it's down to a Shadow Sneak crit for me. So basically, I lose here is what I figure, because we don't get the crit. But thanks to him being locked into Hyperspace Fury, he struggles out because he used it too many times, and Recoil takes him out. So yeah, luckily a little bit of justice there, I guess, because honestly, I feel like all of our misses kind of really screwed us in that match. So really not feeling too bad that he struggled out there, because I think I just played that match really well. But you know, I guess there were hacks on both sides. You know, he didn't get burns with his Scalds and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was just a little salty that I missed 3 Toxics out of 4 that I fired off, maybe 5. So yeah, a little salty about that. But anyway, so I was nice and 3-0 in the first round here. Next video I'll go over the other guys' battles, who I didn't battle against, but they battle against each other. And then the final one will be the finals, and the team builder and changes that I made for that. So I hope you enjoyed this first video of the Psychic Monotype tournament. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's been BrotherArcanine. Peace out.